Have you ever pondered what life would be like if the sun never set, if it was always high noon? Let's dive into this fascinating concept. Imagine a world where the sun is perpetually at its zenith, a ceaseless daylight reigning over all. The Earth's temperature would be uniformly high, with no respite from the scorching sun, dramatically altering weather patterns and energy generation. The absence of night would challenge our biological rhythms, disrupting sleep patterns and potentially impacting our overall health. But it's not just us humans who'd face the brunt of this change. The constant daylight would affect the growth of plants, potentially boosting photosynthesis and increasing plant growth. The behavior of animals, many of whom are nocturnal, would be profoundly altered, with their survival strategies needing a complete overhaul. So, let's wrap our minds around this idea. Imagine a world bathed in constant sunlight, a world where darkness is an alien concept. With no rising or setting sun, how would our concept of time change? Time, as we perceive it, is intrinsically linked to the sun's dance across our sky. The rising sun heralds the start of a new day, while its setting signifies the end. But if the sun stood still at its zenith, how would we mark the passage of time? Our daily routines, governed by the rhythm of daylight and darkness, would be turned upside down. Work schedules would need to be reimagined. Social activities, traditionally divided into day and night events, would merge into a continuum. Moreover, the absence of night could profoundly affect our culture and traditions. Many of our festivals and celebrations are tied to the cycles of the sun and moon. Even our language, filled with references to dawn and dusk, day and night, would have to evolve. In a world where the sun never sets, time as we know it would be transformed. Opening. To sum up, a world with a permanent noon presents intriguing possibilities. Let's take a moment to revisit the key points we've discussed in this exploration of a world cloaked in unending daylight. We've delved into the realms of science, physiology, and philosophy, examining the potential effects on life, health, and our perception of time. It's been a journey, but it's a journey that's only just begun. So let's go back to the start and walk through it once more. Firstly, we discussed how a world bathed in eternal sunlight would impact life as we know it. Imagine a planet where the sun is always at its zenith, casting a constant, unchanging light over the landscape. A world where shadows never lengthen and the horizon is forever bright. This, we proposed, would have profound implications for all life forms, from the tiniest microorganisms to the largest creatures. In such a world, plants would bask in an endless photosynthetic paradise, but at the risk of overexposure to sunlight, which could potentially lead to cellular damage. The concept of a day-night cycle would become irrelevant, and organisms would have to adapt to this new reality. They might evolve new mechanisms to deal with the constant exposure to sunlight. Or perhaps they would become nocturnal, seeking refuge in the shadows during the harshest hours of sunlight. Next, we explored the potential health effects of living in a world of perpetual noon. The human body, as we know it, is not designed for constant exposure to sunlight. We depend on the rhythm of day and night for our sleep cycles, hormone production, and even our mood. The constant bombardment of sunlight could lead to a host of health problems, from sleep disorders to skin cancer. However, we also speculated on the potential adaptations that might occur over time. Perhaps our skin would develop a stronger resistance to UV rays, or our bodies might evolve to produce essential vitamins and hormones without the need for darkness. The possibilities are as endless as the noon itself. Then we delved into the realm of time perception. In a world where the sun never sets, how would our sense of time change? The passing of days, marked by the rising and setting of the sun, is a fundamental part of our understanding of time. Without this, we posited that our perception of time might become more fluid. We might come to measure time in different ways, or perhaps we would lose the concept of time altogether. With no night to break up the day, would the concept of a day even exist anymore? These are questions that challenge our very understanding of reality and push the boundaries of our imagination. We also pondered on how society and culture might evolve in this endless noon. Would we become a society of eternal day dwellers, or would we retreat into artificial darkness to maintain some semblance of the day-night cycle we're accustomed to? How would our art, literature, and mythology change in a world without the poetic contrast of day and night? The endless noon scenario also raises fascinating questions about technology and infrastructure. How would we design our cities and homes to cope with the constant light? Would we develop new technologies to harness the endless solar energy, or perhaps to create artificial darkness? Would we develop at all in the absence of time concept? Lastly, we considered the psychological effects of living in a world of perpetual daylight. Without the natural rhythm of day and night, would we feel a sense of disorientation or even existential angst? Or would we adapt and find new ways to structure our lives and our minds around the concept of the endless noon? In conclusion, the concept of an endless noon offers a fascinating thought experiment. It challenges us to think differently about the world we live in and the way we perceive and interact with it. It invites us to imagine a world that is both familiar and utterly alien, and to consider the possibilities and challenges that such a world might present. The endless noon, a fascinating thought experiment that pushes the boundaries of our imagination. If you enjoyed this exploration of a world under a perpetual noon, we'd love to hear your thoughts. Did you find the scientific, physiological, and philosophical implications interesting? Do you think you could adapt to a world bathed in eternal sunlight? Or perhaps you have your own theories about how life, health, and our perception of time might change in such a world. We encourage you to like this video and share your thoughts and ideas in the comments section. We've only just scratched the surface of this fascinating thought experiment, and there are undoubtedly many more possibilities to explore. So if you know someone who loves to ponder such questions, why not share this video with them? Our journey into the endless noon is just one of many explorations we embark on in this channel. If you want to join us on future journeys, be sure to subscribe to our channel. From the mysteries of the universe to the wonders of our own planet, we're always diving into thought-provoking topics. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the endless noon. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep imagining. The world is full of wonders waiting to be discovered, so stay curious and we'll see you in the next video.